The second they saw it, their body reacted way before their brain did. So this wasn't dramatic. It was like a flash of light. They're like, oh no. You laughed a little longer than usual. You replied faster than usual. And you kind of just leaned into someone else's presence without hesitation. And that kind of hit them. The feeling in their chest, the recalibration. So for a long time, they operated assuming that you guys would always be a thing. Not because they took you for granted, but because they just always assumed you'd be available. And for a while, you guys were. So this isn't about heartbreak. This is about someone realizing they might have some competition. And when it enters their system, everything changes. So choose a pile for me. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and pile 4. Take a moment to meditate on the cards if you need. I'll also put the timestamps below for you. I'll see you in the reading. Bye. Pile 1, welcome. So the moment they saw this, they didn't collapse. They just sort of tightened up. But it wasn't visible to anyone else. But inside of them, something was like, system go, change, change, change. This wasn't obvious intimacy, you know, like it was just being fluent, the way you were responding to people, the way your tone matched. Ooh, this could be a Libra. You got the Libra card here. So that's what kind of set them off, sort of registered, you know, like they're like, ooh, someone else has access to pile 1. Because up until that point, they had assumed something about their position in your emotional world, you know? Like they believed they were the primary reference point for you and your love. Like you also have Sagittarius here. This person thought that by default, you guys would be together, a thing, remain close. But now they're seeing your attention sort of go otherwise, you know, like switch angles. This person starts replaying things in their head, wondering, where did I go wrong? What did I do? Oh no. You know, like, when was the first time I messed this up? How long has it been like this? You know, is this just like surface level or what? So this person's wondering, did they screw up? I don't know. They're not going to respond impulsively though. They just start gathering data. So here we also have Pisces. This is through them being, in Cancer here too. So let's just take a moment here. So like I said, this person is trying to see if you guys are going to actually get serious or if you're just dating them. So they're trying to see where they're at in your life while you entertain this other person. So what threatened them wasn't the fact that you liked someone else. It was that someone else seemed to understand your timing, your pauses, your humor, your laugh, you know, like that kind of understanding implies like you guys are going to have a close relationship. And that familiarity implies movement, you know? So what do? This is Aries. They make themselves known more. They start showing up places. They're not being like reactive and stuff, but you're going to notice small things. Like they're going to message in moments that reestablish rhythm. They're going to reference shared memories. They're going to reference subtle experiences that only the two of you have. Not to reminisce, but to like mark their territory. And there's a big difference between the two. So when they say, remember when we talked about that, remember when we talked about this, it isn't like nostalgia. It's reinforcement. You also have Capricorn here. So they're reminding you and themselves of presidency. Because in their mind, president equals priority. This person doesn't believe that there is a competition. They believe like they are the one. And they do think that they need to establish themselves in the hierarchy, though. You know what I mean? Like, so they worked for where they're at now. Gemini here. So this person recalibrates things. You'll probably notice that they're going to be more consistent with you, like more intentional. They're not going to withdraw. They're going to lean into you. You got the sun here. I just went ahead and fixed my top-down camera so you can see all the cards properly. Sorry about that, guys. So, like I said, this person's going to start initiating conversations more often and like choosing things to talk about that you're interested in. You know what I mean? Two of Cups here. So they're going to reintroduce your guys' inside jokes here. And it's not because they're desperate for your attention or whatever, but they're literally reclaiming their presence in your life. So the Tower. So they understand that life changes are... They understand that you have emotions. And I know that sounds super surface level, but like a lot of people are absorbed within themselves. But this person knows that shit goes down and they need to be there. But their lack of realizing that they assumed that they were part of your life was kind of their flaw here. Because they're realizing that they've been excluded by you, but it's just you sort of vibing, just chilling with other people. Like you guys weren't a thing. So this person's like, they're not trying to completely eliminate others in your life. They're just trying to reassert like their relevance in your life. You know what I mean? Okay, so they don't need to attack the other person. They're just trying to remind you who's already been there. Like you've already been with me. We already have history. That's what they're saying. So they're like stepping into convos like at certain moments just to be part of the conversation. And like positioning themselves as the one who gets you first. Oh, so wow. They're going to reference things that only you two know. Shared perspectives, private understandings, private jokes. You know what I mean? Not like to be sentimental, but they're doing it intentionally. Oh, yeah. This person thinks in structure here. They're asking internally, what makes my access unique? What differentiates my position? What can I offer that can be easily replicated? And then they amplify that. If they used to be casual, they become intentional. If they used to respond loosely, they become more attention driven. I'm going to grab you some love clarifiers. One moment here. Okay, so I just grabbed two separate love clarifiers. We're going to see if we can get any further info on them. So like I said, this person's like focused on you. They're trying to see if their actions are going to get you to act differently or to react differently. And they're going to be doing little tests and stuff, you know? Yeah, they believe that you're so different than everyone around them. They might pull away and see who you choose. They're going to pull away and be like, well, let's just see who she chooses. And they just feel like they can't move on from you. This person wants to know, is this a temporary spark or is this an actual, is this an actual relationship that they're building? And if it's temporary, they'll be like, that's fine. But if they realize you guys are getting serious, it's going to be like escalated. You know what I mean? And they're not going to like start a fight or anything, but they're going to get more pushy. So it'll be like strategic timing. They might compliment you in a different way because they feel that you deserve their love and you deserve their playfulness. So they're going to start trying to point out more and more like shared hobbies you guys have in common and all of the things that would make you aligned with them. You know what I mean? So there's also something here about them becoming more attentive to details. And the past life relationship, this is an issue they had in their last relationship. They are intentionally trying to realize what gets your attention, what energizes you, what stimulates you. Because the thing is they're going to like watch if you're laughing at their jokes or if you're like getting more active, and then they're going to start, I don't know, being funnier, going to the gym. But they're not going to like beg, like, please take me back. They're just going to earn it back through being relevant, kind of. And it depends what your personality is, pile one, because some people might not like that. They might find it overpowering because it might be like, whoa, like slow down. But you also might like that because then you're like, okay, they're showing me they want to be involved. So take that for what it is. But this person realizes that they need to put maintenance in, and this person's not sad, but they're like like something's driving them. Like this person is chasing you. They want to know how they can strengthen their position in this like chess game. You know what I mean? So they're going to start saying things like, we always, that is so us. You know how we used to, stuff like that, you know? So it's like not manipulative, but they're just trying to reinsert themselves. Like I said, King of Wands. Yeah, they're trying to like reinsert themselves as like an established unit in your life. It's kind of cute. But I could see it would be kind of annoying too. It's like a cock block. And like it might be moments of nostalgia and stuff like that, but it's just to reinforce like, hey, don't forget about us. And they want continuity with you. Like they want to continue things with you. The Hermit, this is Virgo. So there's something else that they don't like being uncertain. The Hermit. So this is the situation you're in right now is unpredictable. So how they're dealing with that is they're becoming predictable. They're going to be like, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be communicating more. I'm going to be reliable. Because reliability makes them feel better about it, you know? Like they like to be consistent. And they are rebuilding gravity, essentially. So I don't know if I mentioned, but they have Libra here. You have Pisces here. You have Cancer here. You have Virgo here. You have Gemini. You have Capricorn. I don't think I missed any. Oh, and you have Aries hidden under here. Look how cute the Aries card is. So cute. Oh, and you have Sagittarius. Did I say that? You have lots of major arcanas in here. So this person's asking, am I still like your primary person? Or have I like slipped into like second, you know? And if they think that they're second, ooh, they're going to adjust again. But they're not going to be like a psycho about it. They're going to just start initiating deeper conversations. This is you, the High Priestess. Controlled. They're going to be, okay, hang on here. They're going to be vulnerable, but it's controlled vulnerability. Just enough to deepen connection, but not enough to say like, I'm feeling insecure that you're talking to so-and-so and XYZ. Like they're not going to tell you that much. Whoa. They want to appear like they're your foundation, like they're, you know, like they're solid in your life. And they don't want to be an option, obviously, but that's what like they caught on to when they saw you with this person or, you know, had the idea that someone else was getting that side of you they thought was theirs. And so now I'm wondering if you've noticed, have they like stepped up trying to get your attention, trying to be more relevant? The Empress is your shadow card here. So if you've been sensing their presence more and like them being pushier, That's not a coincidence. That's what they're doing. That they're trying to do that. So let me know in the comments for sure. I'm interested. So this person's really fighting for it. They finally realize they need to put the work into, and they're bringing it to the table strategically. Strategically, but they are putting in the effort. Follow us to pile 2. See maybe if some messages are carried over for you there. See you there. Bye. Pile 2, welcome. So this person's jaw tightens up before they even like realize it. It's small, it's visible, but it's there, you know? Because the moment you laughed, ooh, something in them like flared up, like the hairs on the back of their neck went up. They clocked like the energy shift, the way you leaned in. Ooh, starting off strong with Leo and 4 of Wands. This is like the way your tone registered halfway through. This reaction, that spark, is what they're used to getting from you, not you giving other people. Temperance and Empress. Okay, so that's seeing someone else bring that out of you is like, makes them think like, well, what happened to my rank in this? You know what I mean? And they don't always say it out loud here, but internally they do categorize dynamics in terms of like placement. Who commands the energy from pile 2? Who influences the mood in pile 2? And like, they like that they've been your primary person. They love it. But like, now that they're not the one pulling your focus, switching the mood in the room, and someone else is doing it, oh my God, their ego flared up. So we have some zodiac signs here. We have Leo, we have Sagittarius, we have Scorpio, we have, who else is here? We have Libra, and we have Gemini. So they're thinking, oh, so we're competing now? Like, so when they see you with someone, they'll be like, oh, we're competing? And you might even notice that. So like, they're going to start speaking more clearly. They're going to change their posture, you know? They're going to like refine their strategy. So they begin amplifying like everything that they're really good at. So if they're intelligent, they're going to become more articulate. This is Pisces. If they're like super magnetic at a party, they're going to become more magnetic. And if they're successful, they're going to start bragging about the things that they've done. This is Aquarius here. And it's going to be like strategic timing. They want you to see that there's somebody that they're worth it almost. You know what I mean? 7 of Swords. This person doesn't secure space for people through vulnerability. Like, they secure it through like being superior, having the upper hand, having leverage. And there's this really strong card here, King of Swords and 10 of Swords. Visibility, presence, spotlight. Like, they don't go hide when they feel threatened. They show more. They're like a peacock. And like, oh my God, like, I can see this. If you're at a party and someone makes you laugh, this person's like, well, I'm going to tell a better joke. And if that person that told the better joke intrigues you, like, this person just gets more and more. I don't want to say competitive, because that was more of pile 1's personality, but this one feels like, like they need to manage everything. It's weird. And it almost comes across as desperate. So this is like them managing their image to others, but like in real time, you know? 5 of Swords. So they're going to scan the environment. And so you got the Devil. I thought that was relevant because you have, that's Capricorn. Let's get you some clarifiers. So this person is competitive, but in a way like an athlete is, like, not competitive like for love. Like, they're competitive, like focused, goal oriented. When their eyes are set on something, they let their dominance take over. They may even subtly undermine you just to gain control. Like a little jab that will establish that they're better than you, like a clarifying comment that is supposed to make you feel stupid. And they're like, I don't know who I am anymore, because they're acting like someone they're not. And it's so smooth when they make these comments that it barely registers as aggression. They don't want to look, this person doesn't want to look like a threat, but they do want to look like they're above you. I know that sounds really bad, but the energy in the reading doesn't feel bad. Oh my goodness. I'm going to give you those three because the piles are going crazy. So like I said, if your body or your attention is going to that other person, they're going to like step up their game. And they just don't know, why do I feel this way? They have obviously sexually attracted to you and they want to be different. So this person genuinely believes that the most impressive person is going to win you over. They trust being like impactful and having presence in a room because they have romantic feelings for you. They just don't know like how to address it. And they think you're worth waiting for. Also, this person gives a vibe of like, they're going to be posting on social media like of things that they accomplish, you know, just to flex. And their friends might be in on that. Odd. This is someone who sees themselves as like a brand. Like, I know this sounds really weird, but like they want to be like a brand. They want to be known for who they are. And they could, in the future, if you pursue things with this person, it could turn into like an engagement. Like this person might actually settle down with you. But this person's going to wait for that perfect time. Okay. So there is chemistry with you guys. They want you to feel the difference between them and the other person. That's the goal. But here's something deeper. So they tie being exclusive to being superior, not to having an emotional relationship. Like as long as they were the most dynamic person, closest person to you, they felt secure. This is Taurus. That's ironic. So when someone else came in, this other person came in, could have been a Taurus. It wasn't personal. It was like a competition. So this person might start challenging them more directly. Instead of trying to impress you, they might switch up and try and like, I don't know. I just pictured like a guy sparring with another guy. You have Virgo here. So they're not going to like crumble down just because they're getting stressed out, but there's lots of fire here, you guys. Like this person, oh, this person's going to be like more charming than usual, you know, like, oh, it's going to be so nice for you. Just accept it if I were you. The ultimate, like this guy's like alpha, you know, like, or thinks he is anyways. So this is exactly the persona they're trying to give off. They don't want to admit they're aware of the rival, but they're like ready to throw hands if they have to, you know what I mean? Like where their strengths, where their weaknesses, like I'm going to win this is what they're saying. So then they position themselves in contrast here. And if the rival is soft-spoken, they'll be like, and they'll be super deep. And if they're flashy, they'll be like chill. They're just going to try and be the opposite of this person. So if this rival is like, aka competition, is intelligent, they're going to try and bring emotional intelligence instead. Because dominance isn't just being the loudest one in the room. It's about being the strongest presence that's being compared to, even though you're probably not comparing them. There's also something about like eye contact in this pile. So if you're physically in the same space, they're going to hold your gaze longer than normal. And that's them being territorial in their own way, not possessive, just kind of commanding. So it says with their eyes, they're saying, focus on me here. And they're thinking that if they could just get you to look at them longer, that they're going to like reassert themselves in your life. So it's kind of odd. It's like they're trying to be very impactful in your life. Two of Swords. Seems like they might be, or they were at one point. This could also be two girls in a relationship, actually. Nine of Wands. So, yeah, in this person's world, the hierarchy is like the winner, you know? Like this person doesn't feel heartbreak. And just as I say that Tower is your shadow card, they feel like they get ambitious from being in competition, and that like fuels them, that keeps them going. So you might feel like their energy is sharper, more electric, more intense. This person wants to stimulate you, stimulate your mind, because that makes them memorable. And to them, if you're memorable, then you're a priority. So that's their main goal here. And if at any point you pull back slightly, they don't spiral, they don't freak out. They actually just increase their presence in your life. Like they'll just switch up and they're going to keep trying and trying, because I do feel like they're going to do this engagement. Like they do want something serious with you. And so if things get amplified externally, then it interferes with their self-worth. So they're going to want to like really become valuable in your life. They want proof of worth, proof of capability, proof of dominance. This is someone who never assumed emotional space was permanent. So they knew they had to earn love, earn relationships. And now they're like, shit, I was knocked down. I got to earn it again, but I'm going to be aggressive this time. And it's like they're even edgy, like a challenge, like they're testing whether this rival can keep up with them and whether you can handle the intensity that they're going to bring. At the core of this pile, though, is like hierarchy, and they're trying to preserve their spot. You know what I mean? So they thrive in competing. Like this person's probably going to win because they refuse to be second best. This person does not like back down. So this person's going to just keep fighting. And they tend to be the most impressive option in the room. So take that for what it is. Follow us into pile 3. Maybe there's something in there for you too. We'll see you there. Bye. Pile 3. Welcome. So this person's like, wait, what? When did that happen? It comes out calm. But inside of them, they're tripping. So they're not jealous. They're not sad. But something, yeah, 5 of Pentacles. It wasn't like harmless conversation this person noticed. It was like they noticed someone else had your attention, had access. You shared something with this person, a detail, a story, an opinion, and they didn't even know about it. So they were like, oh, why didn't she tell me about that? Why didn't he tell me? It wasn't that they saw you talking to someone. It was just like that you told someone else something before telling them. Conflict. This person doesn't operate in open competition. Like this person does not like competition. And their internal map, you exist inside their house, inside their little house brain. This person believes that there's like this gate that's like locked and loaded and that they had influence over this gate. So when they realized that someone walked through that gate without them being aware, they're like a dog. And they were like tripping out. So you might notice a shift in them like right away, immediately. The Magician. They're going to start asking you questions, not aggressive, but like asking, like, since when are you talking to so-and-so? How did you even meet so-and-so? Oh, you guys seem pretty close now. 7 of Wands. You never mentioned that. And it like sounds light, sounds like a gentle convo, but they're gathering info. Like they want to know timeline, frequency, depth. How long has this been going on for? Because access to you means a lot. Because like who gets that? Who gets that side of pile 3 without me? Who gets that pile 3? Why did they hear about that story before me? And to them, this person kind of budged. Like this person feels tight. Do you see that? 8 of Swords. So this person doesn't explode. They sort of close in. More texts, more check-ins, more, what are you doing? Where are you? Not because they miss you, because they're kind of being like controlling. You may notice them in certain situations where they wouldn't normally be, and now they're there. Knight of Cups, trying to be a romantic guy. If you're in a group setting, they might stay closer. If you're online, they engage more. You have Leo here. If you're busy, they sort of just increase contact. And you have... That's it for zodiac signs. They might start saying things like, oh, but like that used to be our thing. Why are you taking so-and-so there? I thought you told me everything. You didn't think to mention that to me? 10 of Swords, and it could really push him away. You have Aries here too. They're like trying to subtly guilt you though. Not like, hey, you hurt me. More like, that's interesting. You didn't loop me in. Like, just like passive aggressive. It like reestablishes an expectation that you should be telling them things first. Because in their mind, there was an understanding like they were first. Unspoken, but like it was real. That you would consult them or inform them about things first. They were your first person. You have Gemini here. That you told them about your emotional experiences first. Like no one else was first. And now the pattern is cracked. You have Taurus here. So this card feels like boundary drawing. Not defensive, but like definitely directive. This person might start redefining like what's appropriate to them and what's not. Like, oh, I don't like when you get that close to other people. You need to be careful who you open up to. Like they're going to start saying stuff like that. They don't know you like I do. You know, like that one's important because it's like, that's not like a plea or a bid for connection. That's them like claiming you. Please do what's best for your heart. And if they know you, though, deeply, they know that they hold influence in your life. But they're super scared of you rejecting them in general. So you may notice them testing limits, interestingly. So if you're out somewhere, they might ask for details that really aren't any of their business. They're going to be like, who's there? How long were they for? When did you get there? What was said? When did you leave? Not like interrogating, but it'll feel like it. And so if you start hesitating, they're going to notice it. But if you deflect, they're going to notice that too. They're going to be like obsessed with you because inconsistencies gives them control and they want to know if you're being inconsistent. And to them, being in control equals consistent, being comfortable in a relationship. And they're going to start inviting you to do things more, like things they didn't before. They're like, hey, come to this, and this with me. And you're like, you never invited me before. So this person is structured, you know, like you're going to feel it in small little, like small connection bids, you know, like they're going to be like, oh, you don't usually talk like that. Why do you talk like that now? You never used to. Like they're trying to like reassert authority. It's kind of like an a-hole. Like they're like in their head, they're like, I define the version of you that exists in my space. It's kind of like a why didn't you tell me kind of tone. You know what I mean? And it's not because they actually feel excluded emotionally. It just feels like because they lost control. So in their mind, there's a protocol. Ooh, you broke protocol, pile 3. You need to free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Interesting. Instead of letting someone else control your life. It is fixable. You just need to have a heart-to-heart conversation about that. Do you see that? That's so interesting. You got this control card. They want to make it difficult for you to have any other relationships in your life. Oh, well, your advice might be to release them, pile 3. So control can look like care, can look like alertness, can look like concern, but underneath it, they're trying to manage you. You know what I mean? And they're very deeply attracted to you. And I think this person's going to try and minimize the other people too, right? Like try and like cut them down to make themselves feel better. And they're like, I wouldn't take that too seriously. Like they're not, I don't know. It's really odd. This person wants control of your entire perception. If they can control how you interpret the other person, they can reduce the perceived threat of the other person. So they're trying to like gatekeep you. They don't want to outperform. They don't want to have to fight for their yard. And you might notice that they become more directive. Things like text me when you're there. Let me know before you make plans around this date because I want to make sure that you're free or something. Like in case something comes up. Just weird. They're like tightening that little bubble of your life. There's a strong like hours theme. Our dynamic, our jokes, our space. And if they feel that being diluted or, jeopardized, they'll reinforce keeping you excluded from people. That's just between us. Don't tell people that. Keep that private because also privacy to them equals control. And control restores how comfortable they feel in a relationship. King of Cups. They're very aware that emotional access creates influence and they don't want anyone to influence you. The moon, you have Pisces here. So you might even feel them like watching you every moment you do in a room. Like anything you do in a room and it's freaking annoying. 6 of Swords. This person's watching you for patterns. And if they detect like you're trying to leave or you're trying to grow as a person, they respond like trying to bring you in closer, trying to be like stage 10 clinger. The Sun in reverse. There's no heartbreak here. There's no like big collapse, big fight. There's just like a tightening, like hands are like gripping you. Like, no, you're not going to go that far. You know what I mean? This person believes that they were the primary influence in your life. 9 of Swords. And now you're sort of reinserting that role. You also have Cancer energy here. This doesn't feel like a Cancer personality though. There's sudden cues about like boundaries. You have Aquarius here. They might say like, that's interesting instead of saying like, I don't like that and leave it. But like they're trying to imply that they don't like something because they don't want to be destabilized. They don't want you to get on their level. See that Queen of Cups here? I don't want to cover up the stars. It's so pretty. And when their control is kind of brought down and like crumbles, they regulate, they monitor, they enclose, they try to influence you more than they ever have before. Queen of Swords. They want to make sure that the moment something happens to you, they're the first to know. And their system, knowing first, gives them like the gate control I mentioned before. 4 of Wands. Yeah. This person's after the control. Follow us into pile 4. We'll see if there's any overlapping traits or personalities or anything for you in there. We'll meet you there. Bye. Pile 4, welcome. So this person feels like they go quiet, not like, feels like no contact almost. Or maybe you don't even notice it and it really pisses them off. Because so what this person just observed wasn't loud, wasn't screaming at them, but it was equal. So this is Sagittarius here. This just feels like you're giving someone the same shit that they're giving you. And that disrupted them. The same measure, the same attention, the same presence. This isn't from like emotional. This is from like this person. Okay. Yeah, look at that internal conflict. So this person has this understanding that they held a primary spot in your life. Not like they've never declared it or negotiated it. Obviously, that'd be weird. They just assumed it and they never discussed it either. So when they saw you giving that same love, attention, engagement to someone else, tower happened inside themselves. Internal tower. So this person started responding to you differently. They started giving you trying to be a little bit cold to you. You know what I mean? Kind of stuck on their words. Did you hear I got caught on my words? That's how they're feeling. This person's analyzing, watching, measuring. Taurus energy here. How fast do you adjust? When I give you the silent treatment, are you going to come back? You know, this isn't jealousy. This is like loyalty and leverage testing. They reduce being kind to you just a bit, just to see if you will reach back out. So if they used to tell you long stories, now they won't. If they used to initiate, now they wait. Got Aries here. This is like them trying to switch the whole dynamic of the relationship. And this is like the whole thing here. So if things were distributed differently than you prefer, and if things were distributed evenly, more than they prefer, then it's just like supply. They're not really upset. They're just observing. But like there's a card here that feels like growing, water, unreadable, like confused. They're not going to ask questions. They're just going to they're not going to comment on what they saw. They won't even acknowledge it. They're just pulling back, reducing how available they are to you. And that change in their attitude is the message. If you reach out, yeah, they're going to respond. But not with how enthusiastic they used to be. They're just going to be like kind of cold. You have Virgo here too. This person believes that hierarchy maintains itself through balance. So if everything's equal, then nothing's prioritized, and they prefer being prioritized. So their way of trying to handle that is they don't chase, they don't compete, they don't confront, they create absence. And it's small at first, but it's like tactical. It's measured. You know what I mean? They're going to take longer to answer. They're going to stop initiating hangouts. They're going to let conversations taper off naturally instead of like keeping them going. It's not dramatic. It's subtle. And your shadow card, when I picked up your cards, was conversation card. They're going to feel less deep, more just like surface level. And that's intentional. They're trying to do that to you because deep convos are access and they don't think you're privileged to that. They don't think you deserve it. And they're renegotiating privilege without words. There's something very composed about this pile. Like there's no raised voices. There's no arguments. There's no remarks. There's just icy, you know? They want to see if you notice, like, oh, look what I did. Look what I did. If you're going to step forward and put the effort in, if you're going to lean into them. This is a test without actually calling it a test. You know what I mean? So if you increase effort, they're going to restore the way they were. Page of Cups. This is immature. This person's not threatened emotionally. They're just sort of like recalibrating their space in your life. Because in their mind, they think like there's like tiers to relationships. And they think if they become more self-contained and like share less, not as transparent, then and like share less and give you less time, then they're just signaling that there's, I don't know, like you need to put more work in is what they're trying to say to you. The passion's too much. I want to be different, and why do I feel this way? This person's watching to see if you're going to show up differently. How much effort are you willing to put out when they go cold? It's like a test, and that matters to them. They want to know how passionate you are. You know what I mean? Didn't I just say that? Passion? This person doesn't react because they don't want to give away their positioning with you. So instead, they sort of just switch up the way they act silently. And if you bring up that other person again, they're just going to like respond neutrally, not give away anything. Because this is true love to them and they believe you're their soulmate. They believe that the emotional engagement behind this is a lot thinner. And just know that what they're doing is deliberate. They're just trying to restore what they feel is out of order. They think that their value increases with you when they pull back. So that's why they're becoming less available. That's why they're becoming sort of icy. Like you may even feel them physically leaning back in conversations, less like forward energy, more contained posture, kind of like more uptight posture. Calling in your soulmate. Yeah, like you have another soulmate card here. This person's not angry because they believe you are their soulmate. But if you're not compensating, if you're not bringing your best foot forward as well, they're going to give up. This person's just chilling at a low level. Oh, you might be involved with an ex right now. So in their head, whoever invests less holds the most power. So they're trying to gain power, obviously. So the only way they can do that is pulling back. And you might notice that like their compliments sort of decrease. Their enthusiasm for things go down. They become more guarded. See that? And they're doing it on purpose. You have two arcanas here. You have Aquarius and you have Cancer. So this person's pulling away just enough to be strategic, to get a reaction out of you, to see if you feel the same. Like, do they feel like you're their soulmate? You know what I mean? There's this like unspoken connection in this pile that wasn't really discussed, but it existed. So when that hierarchy felt flattened, they didn't argue for it. They just sort of demonstrated by stepping back, by reducing being kind, by decreasing availability. They want you to see if you naturally come back to them or if it's them doing all the work. Because if you don't, they're going to probably bounce. They're comfortable with being distant because distance reinforces value in their eyes. And this pile, it feels really quiet, almost like silent treatment, but powerful. This person doesn't need their dramatic displays of affection. They just need a difference right now. So they need to know when they pull back, you feel it. When presence is gone, you feel it. And that noticing is like the recalibration of the relationship sort of thing. Because they're not going to compete. They're not going to monitor. They're conserving their energy to see if you reach out. And if you lean in, they most likely will start to slowly be warmer to you and closer to you. Otherwise, they're just going to be pushed away. This person's power comes from being restrained. And restraint is exactly what they're using now. Thank you so much for spending your energy with me. We'll see you in the next reading. Bye.